everybody. Wait, no, let's do that again. I swear every time. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the FFP Alignment Podcast. Have you noticed it's a little different this time, or at least this week? It's just me today. You're getting a double dose of all of this. Yeah, so lucky. Yeah, as you can tell, I am by myself today. I don't have Lindsay with me or anybody else for that matter. Well, I got Jasmine. Never mind, I take that back. And I'm holding my mic today because I feel like with this shirt that I have on, it's like lodged in my throat. So we're going to hold it today. Anyhow, yeah, so today we're doing just me and we're going to be talking about some stuff that I am quite passionate about. And stay tuned for the end of the episode. For those of you who don't listen to the whole thing, first of all, F you. I'm just kidding. Well, just kidding. No, at the end of the episode, I'm going to be doing like a little 30-day challenge, okay? Little challenge for my challenge junkies out there. And it's something that we all can benefit from, even myself, believe it or not. But yeah, it is basically the weekend for me right now. It's Friday that I'm doing this recording, and I have kind of been on the couch all day. I admitted it. I'm so happy though that I didn't have my workout today because I started my period today, and when that happens, things just kind of shut down. And I don't know about you guys, but mine has changed like over the years. For a long time at the beginning, it was like really easy, just like 3 quick days, a little bit of like discomfort, just tiny bit, but nothing, Fast forward to now, it's like I can function. I'm not in a bad mood, but it's definitely there. And I want to be curled up all day long. Like I never quite understood. I got it, but at the same time, I like didn't understand like what people meant. I just want to stay all day. It's my period. I don't want to be in bed all day. Like I get it now. I just want to be a shrimp curled up all day. I was trying to do my steps this morning and I started to feel the symptoms like kind of punch at me, because I was expecting it to happen. I was like, any day now, like literally, like can this let's get this over with. And this morning I woke up. I'm like, I'm pretty sure today's the day, intuition. And I started on my little treadmill behind me. Got to work, and just I was like, oh fudge. Because I just wanted to stop and like be all hunched over. So sat my booty down on the couch, snuggled up. After my haircut, can you tell? Yeah, I got my little phone. I can see myself on my phone. I look good. Oh, I don't have a bra on. Let's just do that. Does that look better? Yeah, that looks better. It's actually sitting next to me. We are unhinged today. No rules, like ever. Like always. And no, I got my haircut today and it was really starting to bother me, but it's like a really chilly spring day, which is quite unfortunate because this morning started out like perfect. At least it looked perfect. Now it's kind of cloudy. I was like, oh my God, it is like the Friday. Those Friday vibes when the weather is perfect. Work's not busy. You're wearing I had something cuter on earlier. You're wearing a cute outfit. Your skin is good. You're getting a haircut. And it all just went right downhill. So after my haircut, I came back home. I was like, you know what? It's okay. Let's get on the couch, get under a blankie, get my kitty, and watch some Disney movies. It's always like that too. I have found like an actual routine on the worst day of my period is I will want to be snuggled under the blanket on the couch, and I'll want to watch Disney movies. It's something about Disney movies or like movies in general during the day while I work. And then my appetite is like peckish. Like I'm hungry, the usual stuff. Like you just want to stuff your face, but I don't want to have an actual meal. I just want to snack all day long. That's the mood. So on the way home from my workout, I keep saying that, or I keep wanting to say that. On the way home from my haircut, I got a wild hair, and I told Mark, I called, I was like, hey, what ingredients do we have at the house? Because we're making pizza tonight. We're doing it. We're both on our cut. But I am adjusting accordingly so I can do a little indulgence tonight, which will be pizza, mozzarella, cheese, sauce, bread, crispy crust. Oh yeah, that's gonna be so good. So good. Anyhow, so today I'm getting distracted. Today, we're going to be talking about the summertime confidence. It is spring, officially spring, and wouldn't you know it, summer's coming up. Bikini season, short season. Get those Daisy Dukes out right now because you're going to be wearing them. But we're going to be talking about confidence today. It's one of my favorite topics, and we have a couple episodes that I encourage you to go back on to continue. If you like this subject as well, and it's something that we always can work on, every single person. But if you're really feeling it, really, really needing to dive into it, go back to 2 specific episodes. One will be with Megan Reed, where we talk about confidence. And then a more recent episode with Carly Pepin, where we talk about body dysmorphia. That one, it does sound a little extreme, like that term sounds extreme, but it's really all under that umbrella. If you struggle with confidence, if you struggle with body confidence or just confidence, we mostly just talked about like your physical features type confidence. And that will really challenge you. I loved that episode because I really wanted to recap it with what we're talking about today. I love that episode because it really challenged me in a way to be like, why? Like, for example, I like to get my eyelashes curled. I need to stop because it's expensive. But I like to get them curled because it's the most annoying thing about myself. It's like my own pet peeve, my own ick, if you will. And that's an example. So I think about that. I'm like, okay, why do I feel the need to get that done? It is annoying that when I put makeup on, it's not, but why do I need them to do this? Like, what is it about that makes me, that tiny little thing that otherwise is really unnoticeable to the rest of the world? Why does it matter so much to me? Why do I put my money on it? And it just, that episode really gets you to think about your motives behind the things that we do. Of course, we want to take care of ourselves. Getting a facial or getting your eyelashes curled, things like that. It's not necessarily going to be, it's not in vain. You're not being shallow or, you know what I mean. But you always want to understand the motives behind those actions. And that's just the kind of person I've grown up to be and have always been. Was like, why am I doing this? Does this make sense to me? Is this coming from a place of insecurity? Is this coming from a place of ego or whatever it might be? Like, is this a wholesome thing that I'm doing just because? And I always hate saying that. I'm like, I want to get my eyelashes curled just because. But really though, like, is it really? And although that is a small, tiny little thing that probably doesn't need, for me anyway, probably doesn't need a lot of unpacking and therapy to, why do I get my eyelashes curled? Am I insecure? I think to me, it looks pretty. To me, it's less frustrating when I put my makeup on, and it just makes my eyes pop a little bit more. And I like that about myself. I'm enhancing one of my greatest features, which is my eyeballs. I always get compliments on my eyes. So I like to enhance that. Like, let's flash those baby blues a little brighter. So But then, I always think to myself, like, well, where did you come to believe that that is a thing that people find beautiful? Or, you know what I mean? Wait, that's not necessarily the right way to put it. How do I want to say that? Um, it just kind of goes through the centuries, right? Where there's a thing that is considered beautiful. Like back in the 1960s and 70s, like the ideal physique back then was being super ultra skinny, bone thin, right? That was considered beautiful. Like, well, who's telling us that? And that's why, and so many women, they get these eating disorders and they have this major body dysmorphia because they're not considered beautiful. Well, who's actually saying that? Probably really gross old white men. Or just men. And women are definitely a part of the problem too. Let's not say that we're blameless here. But it's just this revolving door of media and what somebody says somebody that we look up to and what they say and what they consider beautiful, things like that. And that's why it's so difficult these days. I think really in varying degrees throughout, the life of Earth that we've struggled with something like this to a degree, because it is in our nature, in our biology, to need to be accepted by our peers, because we need social interaction, we need community in order to thrive and have a thriving, successful life, in your head and outside of your life, right? And so, we could really get philosophical here. So that's just something to think about. But that episode, the body dysmorphia episode, really, in short, really got me, put it in a way like that, the way that we had our conversation, put it into a perspective that is easily digestible, right? So it makes me question myself, like, well, why do I need to do that? Blah, 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 blah. So listen to it, digest it however you see fit, and apply it however you see fit. But I'm just going to continue this confidence theme because of the upcoming summer season. And we are, it tends to be the season where those insecurities really start to kind of shine because we have less clothes on and we're outside more. And, that's why they say, oh, just like we talked about in that body dysmorphia episode, Carly, she lives in California, and people are in those warmer states, Florida, California, they're just generally, oh my God, generally more healthier, in shape, types of people because of the weather. Like, how wild is that? Because it's true, when the summertime starts getting close, you're like, all right, let's start my 8-week crash diet. It's time now. Could you imagine if you lived in a state that it was like that all the time? We'd be on a 12-month crash diet, something like that. But yeah, so the summertime really tends to kind of highlight these things that we otherwise would like to hide. And that's why I think almost everybody could say that if they were to pick a season as far as like their favorite fashion goes, it would be like fall and winter. And I'm in that category, but also because I love the cold. Okay. And yeah, for a long time, it really is part of the clothing because I'm a bigger girl, let's be honest, if you haven't noticed. And summer clothing, pause. This little bit that I'm on also reminds me of another episode you should go back to, which is a real throwback with Danny D, Love Your Body. Go listen to that episode, and we'll also check her out on Instagram and stuff. She's great. Like, this is her whole message. And if you're listening, Danny, hi. Anyway, so when the summertime rolls around, it's, when you got bigger thighs, bigger titties, like, it's a little more difficult to feel comfortable just in what you're wearing because you got a lot more to take care of, and things are rolling around everywhere. The thighs are rubbing together. You're just generally, oh my God, I cannot say that fucking word. We're in a calm space. We're just more, in general, uncomfortable with what we're wearing because our body just... And yeah, so I'm definitely in that category. And when I'm pulling out the summer clothes, it's like, God, I gotta find something new. These shorts don't fit me anymore because, hello, I've been squatting, which is a good problem to have. But man, I hate it. I hate chafing. Like, who loves it, right? But we walk a lot. We walk a lot in our little community, in our neighborhood. We do a lot of walking. And I want to be comfortable, but I want to wear shorts. But at the same time, you know what I mean? Like this whole dialogue that you tell yourself when you're trying to style for your body. I've gotten a lot better, I will say. Definitely educate yourself about your physique and just how you're built in general in a non-judgmental way. Just how you're shaped, how long your legs are, how long your torso is. And TikTok is the best place for this kind of stuff, to find people who know how to teach you those kinds of things. And that has taught me so much. To be like, all right, I want to highlight this, so I got to get pants that sit right here and are this kind of length, and shirts that are like this. That honestly is a game changer when it comes to feeling confident in what I'm wearing. Also, who is also obsessed with this whole color match thing? This trend. It's this trend on the TikTok where it started in Korea, I think, or Asia, one of those places, where they do the color analysis. That's what it's called. And I'm just absolutely amazed. My eyes are open. If you don't know what it is, it's basically finding the right season, like color season for your skin type. Well, skin tone, your skin color. So there's like spring, summer, fall, and winter, but then there's like cool summer, cool winter, warm winter, you know, and because there's different undertones. Like, it's not just like red and white and green. There's like a softer green with the warm undertones, and it's so specific and kind of scientific as well. So when I'm looking at these videos, this is exactly not where I wanted to take this episode, but we're talking about it. But when I'm looking at these videos of so she'll have like a red drape, a cloth drape on their chest, and you'll see this girl, you're supposed to not wear any makeup, and like, yeah, you'll see her redness, you'll see the dark circles under her eyes, some brown spots, and then she'll flip it to a different type of red, and her face will literally look like a makeup brush just wiped over it real quick. Like, oh, anyway, I think I'm talking about these things because when it comes to confidence, it's okay to take care of yourself. Obviously, self-care is really important. And also just educating yourself about your skin color, your body shape, and being objective about it. And finding what works for you, because in the past, up until these days, like now, really, it was just kind of a blanket, like small, medium, large, right? Or black, white, brown, red. That's all you're gonna get, right? And the ones that it works for, you're lucky. So literally, we live in 2024. There's so many options out there. So educate yourself on just like what works for you. And I think that's really great. And I love like researching that about myself, and it's still a work in progress. I feel like I'm constantly getting rid of clothes, but there's lots of ways to take care of yourself. So one of the things that I like to do, and this really does help with me, and when I'm not feeling confident, like today is the most perfect example. I am on the worst day of my period, and guess what happens on the worst day of your period? You probably feel your worst, and if you really think about it, sometimes you probably look your worst when you look in the mirror. You know how it goes where it's like everything's awful just because you feel bad on the inside. So what I like to do on days like today is do the shower. You know what I mean? The shower. You take about an hour under that scorching hot water. You do everything. You shave every hair off of your body, at least from the neck down. And you do the body scrub, you do the soaps, you do the bath, the bubble bath, the music, the vibes, bro. Just get the vibes going. You do everything in that shower. You get out of the shower. You take 1 other hour. You put that body oil on. You put the mask on. You do the face shave thing, and then you do your teeth, and then you do it all. I love doing that. And then when I get out of the shower, when I'm done and I'm all oily and I look like a little baby seal, at least that's what Mark will say. I need to pull up my notes. I will feel so good. It also makes me feel sexy too, that I'm just clean and I feel good. I smell good. I'm relaxed. I'm comfortable. All those things. So like, again, these sound kind of vain, but I'm a big proponent of, if I don't like something, let's change it. Let's take care of it. And I will say that I cannot stand, I'm going to say this once. I cannot stand people who just complain or are a victim. So if you feel, kind of step away from yourself. If you feel like you're somebody who's constantly complaining about X, Y, and Z, like my skin is always dry, or I don't have a 6-pack, or you know what I mean? Do something about it. Just shut up. This sounded mean, but it's tough love. We all need to hear that, okay? So there's always something that you can do about your problems. That sounded, I don't know why that coming out of my mouth just sounded, but it's true. There's always something that you can do. There's always something that you can control in your environment. So that's kind of, let me get to my notes. Let's get on track here. Okay. So when it comes to building that confidence, start from the inside out. Think of things that make you just feel better on a day-to-day basis. You feel good when you make your bed, do it. You feel good when you brush your teeth, which you should be doing. Do it. You know what I mean? Like, do the long shower. If you want to put a little money into it, go get a facial. I did that last week. My face, let me tell you, every time I looked in the mirror, I have a little bit of makeup on right now, but I had an eczema breakout. Maybe it's psoriasis, actually. But every couple of years, I'll get like the red patchy flakes kind of flare up on my face. And I also have really, really dry skin. And weeks and weeks, and I'm red flare. I also have rosacea, like not great combos going on my face. And weeks of like trying to figure it out. And I'm sick of it. I'm like, you know what? I'm sick of this. I'm tired of complaining. Honestly, it sounds awful. I'm tired of looking in the mirror. And I'm not someone who loves wearing makeup all the time when I'm never leaving my house. So I went and got a facial. Spent about $150. And I just knew from past experience that getting a facial really does reset my skin. It kind of tells my skin like, bro, let's kind of get back on track. We veered off the road a little bit. Let's kind of steer in the right direction. And it's true. It's literally what happened. And now everything's like really starting to turn around for the better, thank God. So that's what I mean. Like, if you want to put a little money into it, go get your nails done. Go get your hair done. Something. And that, I love pampering. If you have a budget for $50, $70, go get your nails done. Go do it. But let's talk about the harder stuff. Before we do that, buy a new outfit. I know we talked about that already, but go get a cute little summer outfit. Go get that cute bikini. Do some window shopping makes me feel good. Anyway. But there, as I'm saying, like, there's always something that you can do. If you're not feeling confident about something, you don't feel beautiful, there's always something that you can do. What is that? You can do these little cute little things that I'm already talking about, but let's dive a little bit deeper. And you can take a minute to journal or reflect for a moment and think to yourself, like, what was it that has told me this story? Where did I come up with this story that I'm not beautiful or I'm ugly? Whatever it is that you're telling yourself. Well, let's think about that first. What are you telling yourself? What's the language that you're telling yourself when you do look in the mirror? Like I just said, I looked in the mirror a couple weeks and I was like, I look like a fucking lobster. I couldn't. I didn't like it. Nothing, makeup doesn't look good on my face, even if I put it on. Like, none of the products that I had were working anymore. So I was like, but luckily the fix wasn't therapy. Thank God. But you see what I mean. What are the stories that you're telling yourself that if I had gone to get that facial and it cleared everything up, like the second it was over, my skin was perfect, which it wasn't. But what if that happened and I still looked in the mirror and said, not good enough? Like, it's still ugly. There's still something wrong. This weird little bit thing, this is going back to that body dysmorphia. What are you telling yourself? Who has told you those things before? What has reinforced that in your life? And really think about that. Is that something that you can remove from your life? Is social media actually not good for you? Is that person that you're following kind of really crushing you a little bit every time you see her or their photos? Maybe do a little unfollow. And it really can be that simple to a degree. Well, I don't want to say like simple, but those little things like that add up. That's what I'm saying, is you watch that TV show or you follow this TikTok account or something. Like, what are the little things that are chipping away at you on the daily? And what can you do about it? Let's problem solve. And again, I am not a therapist or anything like that, but if there's like a family history of like not a great relationship with your mom or something, then that is definitely something to explore. Whether you do it through therapy or counseling or whatnot, but start to put the pieces together, because there's always a story behind why we are what we are today and why we do what we do today. And I've always had that lens growing up of like, why, like I said earlier, why am I the way that I am? What is life? And so that's what I encourage you guys to do, is to kind of see the gaps in your relationship to yourself. I do this from time to time. I have to take a step back and be like, oof, we've kind of taken a left turn here. You're not really talking to yourself very well here. Let's see what we can do about that. Yeah, that was the big thing that I wanted to bring up was, what in your life right now is currently chipping away at that confidence? For a lot of people, and those people who do listen to the podcast, we're health and fitness podcast, right? So that's going to be the majority of everybody's interest, is how do I lose the weight? How do I get the 6-pack? God damn, bro. Did you hear that? I swear, people. Anyway, as I was saying, yeah. The people, those of you who are listening, we all want the 6-pack and the, perfect skin and the low body fat percentage. But you've heard the stories time and time again of the people that are seemingly perfect, physically perfect, right? I'm around a lot of these people that are beautiful And we've heard these stories that when you actually get to know them, not every single one, okay? But behind all that really can be a lot of insecurity. So don't fall for it. Don't fall for the quick fix or the thing that will get rid of your acne and then all of a sudden all your confidence will be back and life is better on the other side. Like, let's take a win when we have one. Yeah, I got rid of your acne, or yeah, you lost 30 pounds. Like, that is definitely something to celebrate. But it's not the fix. And a lot of people focus on the wrong thing to fix their problems. Some people, it's I gotta constantly stay busy to not, face my problems and the things that are wrong in my life. That will fix it if I just stay busy and I achieve these things. Or if I do get that perfect body, then yeah, I will feel confident, because how can you not be confident when you have that body? Well, there's just so much more behind it, and don't fall for it, please. It's social media, and we all know this. Social media only highlights the good stuff. We all know that. So please tell yourself that when you are scrolling, you're not really wanting to be in a place to get rid of it or unfollow certain people. Just tell yourself a different story, that they look beautiful, but let's not compare ourselves. If you are one to compare, yeah, it's true. Comparison is the thief of joy. It really can be. Not in every situation, but it absolutely can be. And I personally do have to keep myself in check. Like, let's say, some of the things that have got me down before is like, I'll see other people's transformation photos, like real ones. They're not lying about the time frame between them. And I'll just be like, why is it so much harder for me? And I'll get myself down and like, what am I doing wrong? And I'll feel like a failure. And I'm just like, well, I'm not that. I look beautiful. Mark loves me. Like, that's all that matters in life. And so that could like really, really get me down if I let it. But no, they had their own challenges, and I don't know what those were, but I'm pretty sure they did. And anyway, so it's about kind of stepping away from yourself, outside of your head, kind of looking at your life from an outer perspective and being like, what is really taking away from my joy, robbing me of that? And sometimes it's relationships. This is a tough one. I know I'm kind of sounding all over the place, y'all, but we're vibing. But relationships is something that I did want to bring up, because gosh, we all know, we've all been in those relationships that just really suck the life out of you. And if you see a photo of me, anytime before, let's say before 2016, I'm unrecognizable. You want to know why? Well, one reason is I had really long hair. But the other reason was I was just a little baby 20-something-year-old, and to feel loved and to feel beautiful and to feel accepted, I was chasing boys. I really was, because the first experience I had was awful. Like, what an imprint. Thank God I had a great childhood, but I mean, seriously, thank God. Wow, that's another rabbit hole. But you know what I mean. My first relationship, my first marriage, literally everything, and it was awful. What an imprint on your brain to think like, oh, so this is what men are like. This is what they want, or this is, we're all just trying to figure it out. And there were a lot of things, luckily, I'm so thankful that I figured out pretty fast. And that's why I did not stay married very long. Because he did not make me feel good. Nope. That's kind of the gist of it. He kept moving the bar on me, and expectations were very unrealistic, but very reasonable to him. And it's like, um, no, no. And yeah, like the main thing with that was that the bar just like kept moving. Nothing was clear. I didn't know what to do, right? So, if a relationship, especially a romantic one or even family, yeah, family, I'd put that in that category, is really dragging at your the love that you have for yourself. It's a time for a hard conversation with yourself. If you were to ask yourself, like, do I love me? I listen to podcasts, the Dr. John Deloney show. Highly recommend. I've said it a few times. But he says that a lot to people who call in with what they're struggling with or the dilemmas they're in. And a lot of the times he will say, what is it about Jamie that you hate? Or what is it about Laura that you don't love? And that always catches them off guard because these people are actual like listeners. So they've heard him say this before. But it always catches them like, oh, fuck, I didn't think it would go here. But it's such a great thing to ask yourself, like, what is it about me that I don't love? And that's so sad. And if you're saying that to yourself and you have answers, I'm giving you a really big hug right now because you're beautiful and you're loved and you're wanted, all that stuff. But it's a great question to ask yourself, like, oh, let's shine some light on the shame and the hurt or the anger, whatever it is. Shine the light on the dark. And what is that? Okay? I'm not a therapist or anything like that. But back to my other point was that, yeah, my relationships in the past were really creating a Katelynn that I did not like, that I kind of hated. And there were things that I did that was like so outside of my moral scope and what I believed in. And I was just a different person. So it's tough if you happen to have some revelations right now, but take it easy. Find the good in what you're learning right now, because there's always, the grass really is greener on the other side. And I don't have relationship advice. Well, I have plenty of relationship advice, but I am technically talking to myself right now. But feel free to call me, or just listen to that show, the Dr. John Deloney podcast. He's on YouTube as well. And that is so helpful. But the point of all this is to really identify the things in our life, whether it's people, social media, things, clothes, literally, that are just not working for us and the love that we have for ourselves. And I think that's so important. I should have thought to myself, maybe, like, what if I have anything for my right now? I mean, recently it was my skin. It just was, oh, Jasmine, my leg's falling asleep. Hold on, we gotta readjust. Oh my gosh. Look at her. I like have my feet like in a circle, or my legs like anyway. Yeah, I should have thought of a couple of things. Maybe like if I'm struggling with anything right now, I'm on a great trajectory for my coaching. But yeah, recently it really was my skin, and I got up and did something about it. I kind of sweated a little bit on spending that much money on a facial, but it was worth it. But yeah, what was my last thing that I wanted to bring up? I hope that wasn't too all over the place, but sometimes we need to have these talks with ourselves. Have you ever done that before, where you're in the shower? For me, it's always the shower, and I'm going through it, right? You're just going through a season, and you just gotta talk yourself out of it. Like, why are you in this funk? When Mark and I first moved in this apartment, I was in a funk. I don't know, to this day, I really don't know what it was. A little bit of cabin fever. Moving in together that's a big life moment, right? And it wasn't sad, but I don't know, maybe I should not think this out on a podcast right now. But I was going through a funk, and work was difficult. There were a lot of like little things that were kind of adding up, and I had to have a tough conversation with myself. Like, are you being the Katelynn that you love? Are you being the person that you say that you are or want to be? And then you readjust. You figure it out. You change your fucking attitude. All right? There it is. Figure it out. This is the best therapy session you could ask for. All right. Yeah, so it's really just all about regaining control of the things that are kind of getting loose on, right? So I think it's time for the 30-day challenge. You can do whatever you want. It's just a fun little way to put it, but my 30-day challenge for you and for all of us is to every single day, at least minimum once a day, to look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself that you're beautiful. That's it. Every time I've said this to people before in the past who are like, we're having this type of conversation, I'll just be like, this is what you got to do. And it's so awkward and tacky because it's like, here's the answer to all your problems. Just tell yourself you're beautiful. Woo! And they'll just look at me like, Katelynn, yeah, fuck that. But Gary Brecka, I'm pretty sure it's Gary Brecka, he did a TED Talk, and he talked a little bit about this, and women specifically, how we will get this close to the mirror and see all these little things. We have those, mirrors that magnify the thing, and it's like no one is actually seeing this stuff. And it's so true. When I was before I got my facial, I would stand, there's a mirror in my living room here, so there's like perfect natural lighting facing my face, and I would stand like 10 feet away from the mirror. I'm like, I don't look that bad. Yeah, there's some problems you can see from that far away, but I tell myself, like, this is what the majority of what people are saying. This is their experience of me is from this distance. It's not that bad. Some stuff to take care of, but it's not that bad. So he talked about this in his TED Talk, where we get this close to the mirror, we nitpick and we do these things, but he was talking about it in a way because it was changing our brain chemistry. Ding, ding, ding. Katelyn's talking about brain chemistry again. Because it's important when you stand in front of the mirror, not 2 inches from it, but several feet from the mirror, and you tell yourself you're beautiful. Guess what that does to your brain? It starts to change things, right? You start to tell yourself a different story. You are changing the connections in your brain that have otherwise made you believe that you're ugly. Okay? And that's true, because what we believe to be true, I think Brene Brown talks about this. Crap, I wish, oh man, if I could quote that off the top of my head, I'd sound so fucking smart right now. Anyway, the whole premise behind the quote was like, what we believe to be true will be true, because that's what our brain then looks for in the world. We look for it to be true. Just how it is. It's the same theory, the same exact, like, it's science-y theory of when we are thinking about buying a Kia car, that's all we're going to start to notice on the road. Oh, there's one. Because that's what our brain is thinking about, and that's what it's looking for. I'm looking to buy a Kia, and that's what you're going to see. You're telling yourself that you're ugly, that you have all these problems, that whatever, guess what's going to happen? It's going to be true. I wouldn't say it would. It would be. Your, friend isn't going to say that because it's not true. But it is for you. So let's change the story. You tell yourself every single time you see yourself in the mirror, say, hey, Jenna, you're beautiful. Say it in that third person. Please, 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 please do this for me. Because we need more confident people in the world. We need more self-assured, beautiful, confident, inside and out women in the world. Can you imagine how much better of a place this world would be if you were a little bit more confident in yourself and actually believed that you're beautiful? Now I'm actually getting mad at you. But seriously, like, what power we're giving away? Our own personal power that we're giving away to people just because we think we're ugly? And we're going to hide in the corner or be the wallflower or not invest in ourselves and buy cute clothes or get a facial. We're not worth it. You're absolutely fucking worth it. Don't make me say that again. Don't make me yell at you. But it's true, though. I'm serious. Like, that's what I want for you guys the next 30 days, or just whenever you look at yourself in the mirror. I'll be easy on you. Okay, I'll be easy. You don't have to say it out loud at first. Just think it. Okay. And then what you can expect is that next 30 thoughts after that are going to be the exact opposite. That's okay. Just let it come and go. Just be like, oh, no, that's not true. That's not true. You're ugly. You're fat. You're whatever. No, that's not true. But just keep saying it. Repetition is key. Let those negative thoughts come and go, just like a wave. And report back to me in 30, 60 days how much better your life is going to be. Because when you start to radiate from the inside out, the world starts to look a little bit brighter. Things start to work out a little bit more. You start to be a little more assertive and stand up for yourself, or kind of speak up about what you need or what you don't need. Things start to work out a little bit better from day to day. I guarantee it. So please do that for me. Okay, love you. But that is what we have for today. Jasmine, she's like my little baby right now in between my legs. Yeah, so next week, let's see. Next week, I believe we have Lindsay and Rosetta. Woohoo! You remember her? She's the best. Hi, Rosetta. I believe it's next week. We're going to be talking about, we're going to be talking to more of you moms out there with the summer schedules that are coming up and changing, how you can better manage that, how you can build your perfect mom bod. So they are the best for that type of conversation, and I'm so excited because they are so inspirational. They're so beautiful, so successful. Oh gosh, what other adjectives are there? There's all of them. But anyway, folks, that is all we have for today. Come say hi to me in the Facebook group, on Instagram, or just text me if you have my number. Just text me, okay? Let me know what you think about this episode. Share it with a friend. Highly appreciate it. But love you, ladies. Until next time. Bye. Thanks for listening to the FFP Alignment Podcast. Please support us by downloading, rating, and recommending us to your friends and family. Be sure to check us out on Instagram at the FitFemme Project. That's FITFEMME Project. And for those of you looking to find their essential balance of lifestyle and fitness, book a free consult by going to thefitfemmeproject.com. That's FITFEMME Project.com and click Apply Now. Until next time, this is the FitFemme Project Alignment Podcast.